All right. Good evening and good night, and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015. It's about 8:13 p.m. I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number, 340-201-9005. You can also text us on that number as well. And in the studio tonight, we have Miss Audrey Brown. She's helping out with the co-hosting. What's happening? Just give me a minute here. I just want to say that in order to see the show tonight, you have to go to our website, streaminglivefromthevi.com. Go to that website, and you'll be able to see the show. We do have email, streaminglivefromthevi@yahoo.com. For our guest tonight, I just want to let her know that we are in a high-tech, low-tech studio, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No radio, no TV, internet only, which means that you have to get your iPhone, your Android, your tablet, your iPad, your Mac, or your Windows. Open up your browser, go to this website, and you'll be able to see the show tonight because we do have a special guest tonight here in the studio. Check out all our recorded live shows on YouTube.com and Ustream.tv. Our channel is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. I want to give a super shout out to CHS class of 1982. That's the year that I'm representing. And Miss Brown here, she's representing
1977.
And for our guest here, you representing any...
Class of 96, Karen.
Okay. All right. That's our guest right there. As we move on here, I just want to send a special shout out to Vanessa, Julie, Cherise King, Rashimo Kwai Storm Smith, and all our past guests. Just like to say thank you for being on our show. We're on Twitter as well. Tweet with us at VI Perspective. Tweet. We're moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And before we introduce our guest tonight, Audrey, you always have an inspirational poem here.
Yes. Dr. Wayne Dyer said, "If you ask with kindness in your voice and in your heart, how may I serve you? The universe response will be, how may I serve you as well?"
Okay, that's it?
That's it,
man. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to put our guest tonight on the hot seat here and see maybe she has any kind, what we call here on the show, any kind words of wisdom.
I do have kind words of wisdom.
Awesome.
Always and forever serve the society in which you live, and the society in which you live will always serve you.
Okay. Perfect, man. So you hear that voice? There she is right there. Wave to the crowd. You're streaming out right now.
Everybody so excited to be here.
Well, welcome to our show. This is Emanuela Perez. Emanuela.
Yes.
Keep me honest with that.
Emanuela Perez Cassius.
Yes, that's it right there. Well, thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we've had you on the schedule here for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and
yes.
It's finally here. And
excited.
She is super excited too, man.
Yes.
I am. I'm ready to celebrate.
So, Emanuela, you representing an organization called Ladies Leaders LLC.
Yes.
Okay.
I am the owner and founder and also the chief executive officer of Lady Leaders LLC.
Okay.
And our main mission with Lady Leaders is to build a bridge between nonprofit organizations and the communities that they serve, mostly in youth development. So there's a million beautiful nonprofit organizations out there, and I realized that they're not hitting all of the people that they're supposed to hit. So what I'm doing is meeting with you, meeting with your goals, hearing what you're doing, and then finding you that population. If it's at-risk youth, if it's young ladies at the age of 5 years old, whatever it is, I help you find your population, and we put together a program to make your nonprofit organization blossom.
Okay.
That's
okay.
awesome.
So let me ask you. So how long have you been doing this now?
Well, I rang my conch shell in the beginning of 2015, but this has been my vision and my dream for the last 5 years.
Okay. And so, I mean, what is your passion specifically? I mean, you love young ladies, young girls that you're trying to, get them positioned to be outstanding citizens, I guess, right? Is a fair way to put that, right?
I actually, I want them to be outstanding selves.
Okay.
And it's not just young ladies. It is youth development altogether. It
Okay.
is the whole second generation and third generation that comes behind of me. is who I am working with, who I am trying to help to find themselves and find their place within the society and give them some self-worth within the society that they live in.
Okay. Okay.
So you said you started in 2015.
Yes.
So how has it been thus far?
It's been a wild ride. That's all I can really say. It's more than I ever imagined it to be. Actually, you know, when you envision something, you think about it in, I guess, a three-dimensional little cube. You know what I got to do to get it done. But when you start walking it, it becomes bountiful and it continues to grow and grow. And I love it. I love it. Somebody gave me an analogy one time. It was like, you know, starting a business is like having a baby. You carry it and you nurture it for a long time by yourself, because when a woman is pregnant, you're by yourself basically doing this. Nobody else could feed that baby with you. But then you give birth to it. And when you give birth to it, that's when it becomes a society thing. That's when it becomes, you know how they say it takes a village. So it becomes the village. And how you raise this child within the village is how it grows. And the village contributes and it develops. And then one day you got to let it go. And so I started in 2015, and I don't know what year I'm going to let it go and fly on its own, but right now we're still nurturing this baby very close, yes.
Okay, okay. And so, go ahead, Audrey. Go ahead.
Well, you know, it is important because you said you've had this dream for like 5 years.
Right.
But it is so important to just do it.
Yes.
You know, like I have one of my coaches, and he tells me he always wants us to do these videos, and he says, do it ugly.
Right.
You know? Just do it ugly.
It's absolutely
and then
right.
after that, you could go back and tweak it to whatever, but just start. You just have to start. And I have to commend you on that.
Yes, the change for me began when I went to this Millionaire Minds conference in Florida, and it was an exceptional conference. It was totally free, but it was all about...
What was that called now?
The Millionaire Minds.
Okay.
Right.
Find out
and he said, he stood up in front and he said, too many of us take time to aim. We're standing there with a loaded gun and we're just trying to aim because you're trying to hit a target. No, that ready aim is just not where. Fire a shot. See where you land. Reassess. Come back. Fire another shot. But stop holding your gun for years and aiming and angling and aiming. Just fire. And that's what I did. And I fired and I had to pull back and I had to fire again. And I'll probably keep firing because I have not hit my mark. But I am so close to the target. And it feels better knowing that I'm close to the target instead of standing behind still aiming.
So what is your mark?
Where do I want to go?
Yeah, I mean, you say hit your mark, but what more specifically, what is your mark?
My mark is to connect with as many beautiful, young, inspiring souls that this world has to offer. Okay. And I don't know how we're going to connect and where we're going to connect, but it's all about connecting and networking and helping to develop that next generation of thinkers and people who feel good about themselves.
Okay. So what do you find to be like the most challenging area when it comes to young youth coming up? I mean, there's peer pressure and there's bullying and self-esteem and all these things. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you've come across?
I think one of the greatest challenges that I've come across is self-worth. I think a lot of times our youth feel so disconnected from the society that they're in that they feel like they're marginalized, like they're on the outskirts while everybody's on the inside making all these great ideas and spending all these funds in different directions that they think that the youth want, instead of listening and actually giving them a chance to say what they want and giving them opportunities to be a part of it. And for me, especially here in the Virgin Islands, I grew up and I tell people, kids always had a place. When I went to the States, children don't have a place, children have a part. But in the Virgin Islands, children have a place. And they keep you in that place for so long. Oh, my goodness. And even as you grow and you have ideas and you get educated, they still see you as you're still in that place. And so here in the community, especially St. Croix right now, I feel like we need to start having our youth find their place within the society that they live in. Not just on the outskirts watching, not seeing and hoping that the change comes in their direction. Actually giving them a chance to say, listen, that's not what we want. We're talking about education reform. It's not better for us to have this. Or we think that if you could include this, we would be better citizens. We don't give them that chance, and I think that's one of the greatest disadvantages that they have here.
Okay, and so So it's just been a little over a year. I mean, so what has been most rewarding to you so far? I mean,
Oh, my NEF conference. Listen,
Okay.
I got a chance to fire my first conference on October 29th and October 30th, and it was held at the Wang Louis Hospital. So on the 29th, we sat with 7th grade girls and we just empowered. We celebrated their life. We celebrated.
man.
We celebrated till we couldn't celebrate anymore. And in the middle of celebrating, they learned about history. And in the middle of celebrating, they learned how important it is to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, and it's okay. Or be able to say no, and it's okay. And have an idea, and it's okay. And we had so much fun doing that with them. We gave them empowerment in counseling. Like, your counselors are there for you. When you go to school, if you want to be a nurse, you say, listen, is there a program I could join in order to be able to learn what nurses do? Or in order for me to learn what the senators do? Can I call somebody? This is what your counselors are there in school for. And we got sisters from all over the community, because it was all about girls. This particular baby was all about young ladies. So we had women DJ, we had women leaders, we had women entertainers, and of course we had young women in the audience, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So I look on your Facebook page here, and it says selfie versus self-esteem.
Yes, yes. That was at the Educational Complex on Monday. So Educational Complex invited me in to do a presentation with Marin Roebuck, and I said, selfie versus self-esteem is a perfect topic. We see our young ladies all the time taking these selfies, and they've learned to angle and change and tilt just to make sure they get the right side when they're doing their selfie, but they're not paying that much attention to their self-esteem. They're not figuring how to tilt and change and what I like and what I don't like to develop themselves. So we talked about that.
So let me ask a silly question here. So do you think that a person that takes a lot of selfies may have low self-esteem?
No, I'm saying in this society that we're living in, we're paying more attention to your selfie rather than your self-esteem.
Self-esteem, okay.
Right, and the
Okay.
selfie is just a photo.
Okay.
The selfie is not the real. So I don't care how beautiful we capture you for that moment. If you're hurting inside, you're still hurting at the end of that angle, at the end of that that duck lip. You're still hurting, and so we can't just focus on that.
Okay.
We have to pay some attention to what's inside too.
So when we talk about self-esteem, I mean, why are the young, why are the young having low self-esteem?
Why are the adults having low self-esteem?
Well, why?
Yeah, I think it
trickles, and it's something that if you don't develop it when you're young, I was sharing earlier, I developed my self-esteem later on. Like, I had to ask myself when I was 28, do you have low self-esteem? And at this point, I was working in a job, I had a house, I had children, so I was doing the do. But still inside, I was allowing things to happen that I know I didn't like. I was having conversations or tolerating things that I know I want to say no to. So I had to ask myself, and that's when I started doing some self-investment and going to the Millionaire Mind Conference and going to other conferences that helped me to develop me. So I learned about vision boarding and mirroring and inspiration, and how important it is to give yourself a positive every day. You should tell yourself something positive to get started. And that's what helped me. So I realized this is something that I'm sure could help other people.
Okay.
That personal development is so important.
It is.
And that self-love.
Yes.
That self-love. I mean, you can't care for anybody else if you don't care for self.
Absolutely.
And then you go from
I
there.
agree, yes.
Most people want to call it selfish, and yes, okay,
I told the kids.
That's okay.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Me
I'm
too.
really good with that.
I told the children
Yes,
that. I told the
yes.
children, if somebody says you're selfish because you're choosing something, say thank you. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay for me to be selfish right now, because I can't be really a good donor until I be a little selfish, until I am able to love me on that level.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you go to these, like you said, at the complex here, and I guess I see that you have 4 or 5 young ladies here, and I'm not sure if that's you talking to
Yes,
them, but
yes.
can you see sort of a difference at the beginning of the conference, the end of the conference? Maybe
Of course.
you were able to reach somebody just in an hour that you were there. You
Yes.
see that?
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what I see? When you come in, our children are like this. They automatically wait till like. Everybody's giving you that look, and then you start like, I start off with this activity, mirror, mirror in my hand. What is my reputation? Where do I stand? And they had to take a little bit of time. So when they first looked in the mirror, I'm a beautiful young lady. I'm going to be successful. But then when I asked you to talk about your reputation, what are others saying about you? I get what you're seeing, but what are you portraying that making others feel a certain way? And everybody's face was like, so, because this is different. I'm not just asking you to talk about what you think I want to hear.
Right.
I'm asking you to discuss.
Let's be real.
Let's get into it. And so I share with them my life story, and I tell them all the time. I know you guys see adults, and when I was introduced, everybody was like, "Ooh, CEO and founder," but I was a teenage parent. You know, like, did you know in 1996 I graduated with twins? Or did you know? And I share things about myself that they're like, I was like, so don't think that anybody dropped out of the sky perfect. We've all walked a walk, and we've all come in a direction, and I need you to know that you are not as bad as your last mistake. You're actually as great as your next achievement. And as long as you can breathe, you can achieve. And when they start feeling that, then everybody gets, it's overall, hey, let's talk, let's do this. You know, they're ready to share.
They're ready to open up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You have a question, Audrey?
Well, not really. I mean, I could very well understand what you're saying, because we have this idea that we have to be perfect.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And again, like when we're talking to the young people, they think that, oh man, this person is perfect. But you had to go through so many, like I say, don't walk over or around the pothole, but walk through the pothole, because they'll teach you how to get to the other side. So once they hear that and you share your story with them, they were like, oh man, that's me.
Right.
You know? And it's okay to falter.
Exactly.
So I just commend you. Just be real with them. I love that.
And that's how I start off everything. I let them know from the beginning who I am. So I'm not coming to speak to you from a level of authority, or I'm not coming to speak to you from some high altitude of knowledge, a sage of understanding. No, I'm coming to you because I've been there. We're all walking, and I'm still growing, and it's okay. That's all I'm trying to tell you, is that it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not understand, and it's okay to say, you know what, I need a break. Like, it's okay. Because when you're able to do this and feel okay with it, then there's no challenges that attack the person. There's challenges that attack your experience. There's challenges that attack what you're doing, but not the person. You still stand firm as the person, and that's really what I want to give this next generation.
Yeah. So what are the young saying now? I mean, when you meet within these environments, I mean, what are they saying to you?
You want to hear what they're talking about?
I want to, what are they saying? I mean, what do they think about, world politics, government?
Well, they're saying that they know more than people are giving them credit for.
Okay.
They're saying that the Virgin Islands, in their minds, is stagnant. The world is moving. We're a global world, and we're still fighting over things that's not impacting us. That's how they feel. That the things that we're fighting over is not impactful to us. They don't care about all of the politics of who's spending money, because they don't understand the civics behind of it. You know, and I share this with them. I was like, I get what you're saying. To you, this is, whoa, so what if the governor is spending this money, or so what if this is happening? But it's because you don't understand civics, and you don't understand that there's a reason why these laws are in place, and there's a reason why there's a legislative branch and an executive branch and a judicial branch. There's a reason why people are in the uproar when they see certain things happening. And so for me, I'm like, oh, I'm asking them to be a part of a society that they don't understand, So now that I'm going back, as I continue to grow, I'm like, okay, we're going to put civics in this, because it's really important to put an understanding of why this society runs how it runs. And you can make a choice. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe moving to Haiti or moving to another part of the world is more your speed. But whatever it is, understand it. Understand,
What do they say about social media?
They think social media is God's gift to them, okay? And that all the adults are trying to take it away from them. And that's why when I did the selfie versus self-esteem, I wanted them to understand that it wasn't just about me, down with Facebook, down with the gram, I'm not saying down with any of those things. I'm saying those things are tools for you to express your brand. So when you're branding yourself, be very careful of what you're selling. I said, do you think McDonald's would ever stand up there and say, we've got 2% beef? No, McDonald's brands themselves to make money, to make sales, to grow.
That's right.
And that's what we all have to do. Make yourself a brand. Use that social media to brand who you are and who you plan to be. And that's when we talk about social media, that's the direction we go. Use it for what it is. Don't brand yourself as the lady who walks around naked. Don't brand yourself as the lady who thinks it's okay to smoke and drink on social media, because when you come off of it and somebody sees you in real life, know that that's what they're thinking of you. So you can't come back and say, oh, I have my degree and I'm highly educated, but I'm always on instant with a drink in my hand, or knocked out, or throwing up, or you can't sell it to me. So that's the direction we mostly talk about when we do social media.
And employers,
discussions.
that's the first thing employers do. They go
right.
on social media. They're checking you out.
Yeah, and it's real. I didn't even
it's
realize how real
It
that
really
is
is.
until I moved to Atlanta, and I was like, wait a minute, we really check their Facebook pages? Like,
That's right.
yeah, you can't work for a national organization and this is what you're representing online. And I was like, wow,
Right,
this is
right.
real. Like,
Yeah.
this
It
is
is
not
real.
people say employees are looking on Facebook. They really utilize
They're
these.
checking, yeah.
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
So you okay?
Yes,
You
I'm
okay?
great. I'm
Okay.
great. I'm having a great time.
So let's go back to the NEF. So what does that stand for?
Never ever forget friends.
Okay.
In 2009, I lost a really good friend, Nefertiti O'Brien, to domestic violence. And I went through the should have, the could have, the what could I have done as a better friend? How did I let this happen? And I started thinking what to do. And so I came up with the NEF conference, and that is only for girls. That is the part of, that's Lady Leaders Give Back to society, and giving back to the most meaningful place to me. As the CEO, this is where I felt
Yeah.
we needed to address domestic violence in a way that they understand. Teen dating violence ends up to domestic violence.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, today he's just your boyfriend and you're in school, but if he slaps you because you say something, or every other name out of his mouth is not the name that your mother gave you, these are signs for you, and I need you to be able to acknowledge this from now. Don't wait until you're in a relationship and being beat down, or even if you are being beat down, don't be afraid to say, I need help, I'm out, I can't do this anymore. So that's where we went with the NEF conference. So it's all about building that sisterhood where we're responsible for our friends.
Okay.
Loving our friends enough to say, listen, I'm going to get you help. Or loving our friends enough to say, you need to stop. Like, what you're doing is not okay. Right. Loving each other enough to be able to do that and know that we're still friends.
Okay. So how did you go about picking, I guess, these girls? Because you couldn't have all the girls.
No.
But how was that process?
I went to each of the junior high schools and each of the high schools, because it was 7th grade girls on one day and 11th grade girls on the other day.
Okay.
So on the 29th, we brought the 7th grade girls from John H. Woodson, Elena Christian, and Arthur Riches. I put out to everybody, but the public school system replied to me. And we went in, and whoever was picked, I don't know how they did it,
Okay.
but I came in one day to do my online registration, and my girls were there.
Okay.
So I picked 25 from each school, and the goal was to have 100, but we had 65 7th grade girls.
Okay.
And on the 11th grade girls day, we had 55 11th grade girls.
That's not bad.
No,
Yeah.
That's
and it
not
was a
bad at
wonderful experience, and it was even better because it was intimate.
Right,
Like I
right.
told you, when you have a dream, you put it in the box. But then as it develops and it grows, it's like, oh, maybe 75 is a better number than 100 for next year.
For next year.
Right, because it was
right.
so perfect. Everybody had just the amount of space, just the amount of interaction where nobody felt left out, or at home.
So what were some of the biggest surprises? Because I'm sure that you probably had some preconceived process in your head of how this was going to go.
How
but-
it was going to run.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you meet the girls for the first time, and then you're at the end of the night, you get home, you take a shower, and you're sitting at the end of your bed, and you're thinking, what?
I'm thinking things like, I can't believe they were so impressed by our conch shell blowing, because we had libations in the beginning.
Okay.
And when I said to Colin, an ancestor is somebody that you've lost, everybody had a name. I was baffled by that. And when we started talking about domestic violence, I heard young sisters saying, as young as I am, I have been in a domestic violence situation. You're only in 7th grade. I was bringing this knowledge as preventive awareness. And I realized that this was...
They lived it.
They lived, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I was very surprised by that. But I was also surprised by the enthusiasm and the love that these young sisters showed. At the end, it was like, you have to do more of this. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't wait to do the next one. I'm even getting email inboxes like, when are you doing the next one? I'm like, whoa.
So who are some of the leaders
I-
that were there?
Well, I had Dr. Chen Kaina come out.
Yes.
I had Dr. Copeland. She's the VINGN, Coverdale, I'm sorry, the VINGN president.
Yes.
She was amazing. Oh my goodness, this sister was so amazing. We also had Debbie Jack. She's the sergeant for the domestic violence domestic violence unit. I partnered with the domestic violence sexual assault council. So Kanuma was there. It was great. Mona Barnes came out and she shared with the sisters about the military and the future and the options that they have as young ladies. And we had the best of the best. I had Bettina LaRock, and she's this first vice president for the American Federation of Teachers, but she's also a counselor in the schools. She came out. We had Merle Winter do Made Up Minds, where she connected makeup and life, and the children was just ecstatic. They were ecstatic to hear all of these things. So we had the best of the best.
Yeah, and I see here too that you had Miss St. Croix. Is she part of that?
Anuma At came out and she talked about service. Remember when she ran for Miss St. Croix, she talked about her over 100 hours of community service. And so she came out to tell them why it's important to produce service. Like, go out there, volunteer for things, figure out what you love and what you like and what part of society you want to channel into. Don't just sit around and say, I want to be a teacher when I grow up. Maybe you don't even like education, but go out there and see, Maybe law is where you're supposed to be. Maybe you're supposed to be in the legislature. Maybe you're supposed to be in a courtroom. Figure it out at this time in your life. You're in 7th grade, you're in 11th grade. This is the time to go out and say, can I volunteer with you today? Can I come and do this? Because that's exactly what she did, and that's how she got through. It wasn't any process. It wasn't any paperwork. It wasn't some special gift from God. She knocked on doors, and she went in and she asked. And so she was sharing that message with them.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So we're going to take a break.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I need something to drink. So I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. Today is Wednesday, November 18th. It's about 8:40 p.m. We'll be right back. Stand by. That's like our fake audience.
Wait, I can't hear you. Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay.
There we go.
Hold on. All right, we're back. This is the HO Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015. It's about 8:44 p.m. I'm David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian, alongside here.
Audrey Brown.
Audrey Brown, okay. And in the studio we have tonight Emanuela Perez Casillas. She is with Lady Leaders LLC.
Yes.
And she just had a fantastic program here back, I guess this was in late October.
Yes.
NEF.
NEFF.
And how wonderful it was and how excited the young ladies were. And you were saying just a few minutes ago when we took that break that you were trying to figure out how to incorporate the young guys into this.
Right. And I haven't touched it exactly yet, but I'm working around a few ideas and a few different perspectives and seeing what we can do for them. I know I don't want to incorporate them in the NEF conference. NEF is a sacred ground for the sisters. That definitely, I'm not touching that at all.
Okay.
But that's just 2 days out of a 365-day calendar.
Okay.
So I'm going to do something for the young brothers. I just haven't put my finger on it yet.
Is it going to be sort of the same concept?
I'm thinking more of a concept where I'm partnering with a nonprofit that deals with youth development in boys.
Okay.
Boys, yeah.
Right. So I would support their initiatives of whatever they're doing more so than creating my own, like I did with the NEF conference.
Okay. Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a question, Audrey?
No, I just like NEF. Never ever forget friends.
Yes.
That's so important. And
of course it links back to Nefertiti because that's what we called her, Nef.
Okay.
You know, like Nefi, Nef.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then you mentioned too that I guess there's a book. It's not your book, but a book.
A book, yes.
That you find useful, helpful in sort of dealing.
Yes.
You want to share a little bit about that?
I want to share that book with the alternative program at the Theodore Dunbabin School.
Okay.
So this book is all about, it's called Beautiful Faces, and it's all about this girl that she's beautiful to other people, but she absolutely hates herself. Like she does the worst self-talking that I'm not even sure anybody, or not in my mind, that I have never done to myself, but she reflects a typical teenage girl. And so all of this self-talking she does when she gets abused, she thinks, I deserve it. And even though everybody sees her and always tells her about how beautiful she is, and she's always immaculately dressed, and she's always in this persona, in this facade, you can always hear her doing her self-talk. And throughout the book, she does all this negative self-talk. And so I want to use that to grow discussions with these young ladies, showing them how you could be your own worst enemy by the things that you tell yourself, you know, and so I'm hoping that will help to spark some sort of flame with these young ladies that are already, if they're in the alternative program, making choices that are affecting their lives in not a positive way.
Okay. So how have you grown from doing this as a person?
Well, first of all, I've grown because I can watch my behaviors more. You know, when you have a behavior that you demonstrate every day, until you see it come back, you're like, whoa. Wait a minute. And so I'm doing a whole lot of growth within myself because in order for me to be a better person for them, I must be able to demonstrate and walk in a way where I'm living what I'm saying. You know, I can't sell something if I'm not living it.
Right.
So it's given me a lot more conscious awareness of how I act and the things I say and the way I present myself each day.
And that's awesome because that's, again, it's a growing experience.
Right.
And it makes you, like you said, look at yourself. Like
Absolutely.
be real with yourself.
Right,
you know?
right.
And how can you not be real with yourself and then, again, want to tell somebody, do it this way, you know, but I'm not doing it that way.
Right. Do as I say, not as I do.
As I do, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not what I'm about.
So what's next for you? You just finished this conference here a couple weeks back?
I just finished this conference, so we just finished wrapping up all of the final details and going through the recap of good and bad, keeps, get rid of, and already it's coming in. So I've put in a proposal to the Department of Education to do Power of the Purse and Power of the Knot, which is teaching young men how you dress is how you're addressed, and teaching young ladies to carry a purse before you carry a belly. So we know as women what's in our purse. We know that our purse has in everything that tells us who we are. Your checkbook tells you my identification, whether you have a driver's license. If you're a messy person, your bag is a messy bag. If you're a neat person, your bag is all organized and you got it together. learn to carry your purse. Figure out what your purse is. I'm not saying that there's a right purse or a wrong purse. I'm saying figure out what your purse is and fill it with everything that you need to be successful in life. And for the young men, you cannot dress a certain way and don't expect society to treat you how you are dressed. So carry yourself like exactly how you want society to address you, and then that'll be it. And that's for junior high.
Okay.
Ladies.
So you're not doing anything for elementary and high school, or you're just targeting the middle school area?
I'm just for now, because I told you this is my first year, so this is my pilot year. And in order to gain grants or any other thing in the future, I have to collect data.
Okay.
And so in order for me to collect adequate data that I can support, I'm doing small groups. So I'm focusing on one area, and then that's the direction we're going to go with it.
Can you say like what type of data you're collecting?
I'm collecting data on the teens, how they see society. So I was asking things of, when I'm in front of my friends, I'm like this. When I'm in front of my parents, I'm like this. When I'm in front of my teacher, I'm like this. Because I'm bringing awareness to the different type of personalities that we have. I'm also talking about domestic violence, of course. I'm talking about how I'm collecting data on the type of relationships our children are building with each other, the type of violence that's being accepted. What's the norm for them? Is seeing a dead body on the floor the norm? Because right now, gunshots are the norm. When I was growing up, I hear gunshots, it's like, stop the bus, everything, it's over. Because we never heard shots in St. Croix growing up. But now it's become such a norm that they've become desensitized to all of these things. And those are the type of information and knowledge that I'm gathering from them, so that we can have a clear view on what's really affecting them, what's really inspirational to them, and of course what direction they really need us to go in order to better them as global citizens.
Yeah. Well, so what do they think amongst themselves? I mean, as collectively as a group. I mean, where do they want to go?
So the other night I went to an intro night at one of the high schools, and I'm listening to these children, and they're coming up and they're saying all these different careers, and I started saying to myself, it's so sad that in 2015 I'm still hearing so many people saying I want to be a nurse and I want to be a doctor, when there's so many positions out there that is beyond. You know, I can be a web designer, I could be a web host. There's things out there that have come so far than just civic service, and I'm still not hearing my children talk about it.
Okay.
You know, when I say my children, I mean my Virgin Islands children. Compared to, and that's based on their exposure.
Yes.
Exactly. You know, and so that's why in my mind I'm like, oh, we need to expose our babies. Like, they need to know that you can develop education programs now. Like, you don't have to be a teacher. You could be a developer of what you think needs to be taught in the schools. You have the ability to create. You're a creator. Don't just think a service provider. You are a creator. You know, think of it on a grander level. And so that's for me. I was like, okay, exposure. Our babies need to be exposed to the world. Yes. And so they're still talking very simple because they've been simply exposed.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. That's where I'm coming from in my process of what I'm seeing from them.
Yes.
That they're lacking that exposure to the world.
Yeah. So you say here the primary focus of Lady Leaders is to help bridge the gap between nonprofit youth development groups and the communities they serve.
Right.
And so far, success at the first event?
Yes, success with the first event. But the first event was not what we're doing. The first event was our give back. So we started off providing a service.
Okay.
I have made one connection with the empowering movement. That's who gave me Ladies of the Power of the Purse and Power of the Knot. That's Empowering Enterprise, and that's a group out of Atlanta, Georgia. And they are the ones that created those two programs. And so I'm partnering with them to bring those programs to the Virgin Islands. And so my proposal that went into the government, into education, was based on their program that I plan to implement here for them. So helping, again, a nonprofit meet a population that they serve. Because they're doing dynamic things in Atlanta. They're moving through the metro Atlanta area.
Really?
They're doing phenomenal things with the students over there. And I'm bringing that program to our Department of Education.
Okay, I understand.
Yes.
And you said the mission, Lady Leaders is a team of leaders whose mission is to inspire, encourage, and support the youth of our communities.
Yes.
We will assist our youth by increasing the awareness they have of themselves as individuals and as a community.
Absolutely. Because because we are.
Okay.
Basically, you are because we are. You're not alone. you are a lone person, but you are a part of the whole. It's like one
Community,
cell in our body. The whole body cannot move unless every cell is functioning healthy, or else the body gets sick. And that's what I want them to know. Be a healthy cell. Look at our society like one grand body that we are all trying to move and make. Stop looking at it like we're all one whole body, because we're not.
Okay.
We're just a cell in the body.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Maybe we forgot to ask you. We're not professional talk show hosts. So anything that you might want to add that maybe we didn't ask about?
Well, one thing I want to add is that I want the community to understand that we are one, so we need to work together in everything that we're doing. And when I come to you and I knock on your door, and when you come to me and you knock on my door, we will support each other, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you in helping our community to be better.
Is there any involvement with parents in what you do?
No.
No?
But I'm coming there, though. I'm working on it, because
Yes.
somebody told me that we should do a mother-daughter version to the NEF conference.
Okay.
That same empowerment and that same celebration of who we are, we need to do a mother-daughter version to that. So we're working on it. We're in the keg lines. Like this is the first year, so the wheel is turning and more spokes are being put on, and we're
Just
going to
getting
be
bigger
writing.
and
We're going to
better.
be writing. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I really, really want to thank you for having me on today. It's been a pleasure to be here, and it's been so exciting to do something new. This
I know.
was so new for me that I'm like, oh, this is what I was born to do. I forgot about the other stuff.
And do you have any like social media stuff, email, Facebook page, that kind of stuff you'd like
You
to share?
can like me on Facebook at Lady Leaders LLC. You can like me on Facebook as Emanuela Perez Cassius. Send me an email at ladyleaders1@gmail.com. Or when you see me in the street, say
Just
hi.
say hi.
Right. I tell that to my girls at the end of every session. Listen, when you see me, we're not strangers anymore, so don't pass me like exams. Pass me and be like, hey,
Yes.
how are you? And I'm going to do the same.
Okay,
awesome.
man.
Yes.
Well, our guest tonight, Emanuela Perez
Cassius.
Cassius.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me there. She's with Lady Leaders LLC.
Yes.
And this has been very inspirational. I wish we
Very.
could have got with you a little earlier before your event, but I guess this is stuff that can
But
be.
I wouldn't be able to share the wonderful stories of what I got from it if
Yes.
I went before.
But
I would still be
before,
talking
right.
my hypothetical. I'm so happy to finally be here to talk in my after.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
it's a great thing for me to be able to share my experience with the world,
Yes.
not just the island. I love
Yes.
it.
That's right.
I see-
Internet.
I see you had taken the Virgin Islands to the world, and I was like, we are on the same trip.
Yes. Let me ask you too. Any differences in a sense between and you might have touched on this a little bit, but between here and away and the
In
kids?
regards to our youth,
Yeah.
it's that exposure.
Okay.
And it's that opportunity to be able to be a part of. This is what I was telling you in the Virgin Islands, the children have a place. We need to take their place and put it right in the middle, smack dead of the society. And then it wouldn't be such a crazy phenomenon of what they're doing. See, every time a youth does something that's out there, we act like it's brand new. But it's not brand new in their world. It's just that they brought that piece of their world over to our world.
Right.
So when we're seeing and we're hearing certain stories, we're like, but if we were paying attention, if they were in the middle, we would have seen it.
Okay.
We would have seen it as it manifested. So I think for me, exposure is one thing that our children are lacking, and opportunity.
Okay.
Opportunity to be a part of the society that they live in.
Okay. Audrey, you
Yes.
have any kind words of wisdom
I
here?
do, but I want to say to Emanuela, thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
We spoke earlier about being careful what you wish for and how it gets you on that road. And we're not here just on purpose.
No.
We will talk after.
Yes.
Right?
I'm excited.
But the word that I want to leave with you, and sometimes I wish I could come up with these things myself, right? But this is by Mother Teresa. Behave yourself. Next way, this way. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness, sis. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile. By Mother Teresa. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expressions of God's kindnesses. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile.
I take it. I love it.
You take it?
I take it.
Check it.
I'm
Do
down.
you want to end with any kind words of wisdom here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goes a long way, right?
Yes, I know, right? It goes a real long way. Anyway, I just want to say thank you again for coming into the studio tonight. You're always
thank you.
welcome. You're a part of the family now.
Hey, I'll be back. Save me a spot.
Save me a spot. That's it right there. So I just want to say that this is the HR Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until it's about 9:59 p.m. We do have another show tomorrow night. Author Gary James will be here again. Black Politics 2.0 is his book, and his website is votersanonymous.com. Tune in for that. He'll be here tomorrow at 8, and we'll leave it at that. My final words are our prayers and his blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love.
Hey.
That's how it goes. All right, so we'll see you.
Good night.
See you tomorrow night.
All right.
Take care.